This is one of the strangest gel applications I've ever seen. 3 nails on each hand, 2 are missing. Natural nails that survived are badly damaged. But the worst part is this allergic reaction and the fact that it's located on a certain fingers with a certain pattern gives me some information, which we are definitely going to discuss later in this video. So let's start our nail transformation with product removal. I will be using ceramic bead, almost top speed, 28,000 rotations per minute, and I think I can feel what kind of question you would like to ask me, like what happened? Why are these nails like this? Well, the thing is, honestly, I'm not really a straightforward person, especially when it comes to working with clients. There are some clients that come to you and even if you've never met them before, it's just a matter of 1 or a couple hours and they share all the details of their life. And I don't mind. I mean, I'm willing to chat. But with some people, you just silently sit and work. So my point is if a person is not willing to share or just decided not to share some information with me, that's fine with me. So what I mean, I was not really asking questions like what exactly happened here, because to me it's pretty obvious. This is a disaster and it needs to be fixed. However, I know that some of my colleagues will just simply ask the person straight into their face, "Who did this to you?" I have a feeling that someone was simply practicing because this doesn't look like a salon work. Probably they were practicing product application and it didn't go very well. So they decided to remove it because according to the natural nails that we have, they are badly damaged, like overfiled. And also the product that we have, it's missing on some nails. It's extremely long. And it doesn't even feel like it was properly filed or they tried to apply color or top coat. So probably something went wrong with the practice or education, which is totally fine. We definitely need to fix it. As I was filing the product, now it's clear to me that this is hard gel. I get this question so often, guys, like, why don't you soak them off? Well, this is hard gel and you cannot soak it off. No, there is no special liquid that can do this. No, you cannot use acetone. You can only file it off. So as I was doing it, I felt the product was very soft in some areas, which means it was not fully cured. We have a milky color here, and it can happen if there was too much of the product, so it didn't fully cure through, or probably the lamp was not strong enough. I see these small lamps, like 1-finger lamps, being advertised a lot, and they're great. I have many of those, but they're only for flash curing. When you need to flash cure the tip or the design or the product while you're working, it is going to help you to keep the product right here, but then you still need to fully cure it in a big full-size lamp, which should be at least 36 watts if you want to cure sculptured nails like this. If you have a lamp that's with lower power, such as 18 watts or 8 watts, this is definitely not enough for the product to fully cure. So we also see some product lifting, like massive product lifting near the cuticle area, and supposedly this is also because the product was not fully cured. By the way, her nails underneath are so pretty. So this client has long nail beds that look so good, because on her other hand, they are damaged quite a lot. So I really hope that we are going to work towards their recovery. At first, I thought that this is going to be a piece of cake. I mean, the product removal, right? It's falling apart already, so this is going to come off easily and quick, but not really. When you're dealing with a product that is partially soft, it's not like it's fully uncured. It's not like liquid gel. It's just soft, and the other part is hard. It's kind of confusing for your drill bit, for your technique. You don't really understand whether you need to press more or press less. That's why it's taking longer than usual, because you just need to adjust and to figure out, okay, this is the nail, this is the soft product, this is the hard product. On this nail, we also have a slightly damaged cuticle, which is not good, because I always stress whenever a person already have some damages on their skin, on their cuticles, because this is going to make our prep and dry manicure even a bit more challenging. And we also have some empty spots and some soft product in the center, which is really bad, because that means this nail has direct exposure to the product. Finally, I finished the product removal on this hand, and let's proceed with the next one. And here we also have quite a lot of product to remove. Now let's take a look at her pinky, this poor, damaged, overfiled red pinky. And this is the nail, the finger, where we have this allergic reaction. And we also have a little bit of this allergic reaction on the next one. And this is supposedly what happened. I'm working as a nail detective here because I don't know some details for sure, but this is what I think happened. We can see that this nail is really damaged, not just the dorsal layer, I mean the layer that goes on the top, almost all the way to the nail bed, which means so many layers are missing. It's basically like a bare skin, but it's not the type of skin like we have all over our body. It's the nail bed area that's actually is not supposed to be exposed to the air, right? We normally have a nail plate there. Imagine we have a damaged skin, okay? Keep that thought. And then we apply some product. Then we do extensions, and according to the rest of the nails, on every single nail, the product was not fully cured. When the product is under cured or not fully cured, it's almost the same as if we take the product right from the jar and leave it on our skin. When we apply the gel on the nail, and let's say we accidentally flooded the cuticle, so we touch the skin for a couple seconds, normally nothing happens. That's not a big problem. But now imagine we have a damaged skin, and this undercured product not just touched the skin, it's on top of this damaged skin, trapped under the product that was cured, because even if you take the lowest powered lamp possible in the world, like this little flash cure lamp, and you cure it, the top layer is going to be cured. So we have this shell, then we have this undercured product on top, and it was exposed to this damaged skin for a very long time. Well, I don't know which time exactly, but supposedly it's been at least 24 to 48 hours, and that's enough to have this crazy overexposure. So that's what supposedly happened on the pinky and possibly on the next nail. That's why there is a strong allergic reaction exactly on this finger, because if we take a look on the rest of her nails, if we take a look on her other hand, they are totally fine. So it doesn't look like this is, you know, the type of person that can be allergic to most things. This is definitely the kind of allergy, contact dermatitis, which is acquired, which happened because of a certain actions. And unfortunately, once there are little signs of it, it stays with us for life. So does it mean that she's not allowed to do any kind of manicures or extensions for life? No, of course not. She can, but we need to do it with extra caution. Honestly, at first I thought that she wanted product removal and maybe manicure, and that's it. But she said that actually she wants new extensions. And this is the moment when I started thinking, like, is it going to be a good idea? Well, honestly, when we have a damage like this, it's kind of a good idea to have it covered at least for a while so it can grow off. But on the other hand, we have allergic reactions. So usually it's better to do a little, after a little negotiations, we came to a compromise. So I suggested to do extensions, but I'm going to use a soft gel tips. I think soft gel tips would be the best solution here for a few reasons. First of all, they are very simple to remove, and second is that there's a little less exposure with the product, because basically there's only base coat, and by the way, we can skip the base coat just in case, and also there's only this gel glue that we are going to apply on the nails. So if something goes wrong, if she will have a reaction, they will be super easy to remove. I'm not going to use primer on purpose, so it will be super easy to soak them off if something goes wrong. And she agreed to it. I really hope that it will all go smooth, and of course, when doing something like this, she promised to keep in touch with me to let me know how it's going to go, if she will have any problems or not, and we will decide what to do next. So we will just go from there. So finally, when we removed the product, it felt like such a relief, and we can proceed with the prep. So I'm going to push back her cuticles, and like I said, if we take a look at her nails, they're gorgeous, I mean the shape, but right now they are in a paper thin condition, so we need to file them as short as possible. It will absolutely make no sense to try to keep them. By the way, when nails are paper thin like that, it's even uncomfortable to file them with a file, even if you use a soft wooden file like I do. So sometimes instead I use scissors to cut your nails. By the way, keep in mind, if you have a cuticle scissors, the ones that you use for trimming the dead tissue, you cannot use them for nails too. I mean, once you do, they will not be as sharp anymore. So you need to keep the separate scissors for that. Normally, I use the ones that are just not as good anymore, like my old cuticle scissors. I use them for trimming the free edge of the nail. And then we proceed with the dry manicure. I will be using flame-shaped diamond bead, red abrasive mark. The speed is 18,000 rotations per minute. And I'm cleaning the sidewalls, and from that I can see that whether it's been a while since she did prep or manicure, or maybe she had those extensions for quite a while, because there's a lot to clean. Or maybe they didn't do a good job with the nail prep, and it was one of the reasons why these nail extensions didn't really last. I'm being extra careful around this winged type of cuticle where it's damaged on her thumb, and then I switch to the opposite rotation, to the reverse mode, and work on the opposite side. By the way, if you would like to master electric nail file techniques, then I have online class dedicated specifically for this topic. It's called eFile 101. It's perfectly suitable for beginners. It's online class, so you can take it from any part of the world, and it's not just look and learn. You will have a live teacher-graded assignments and feedback, and you will get a certificate of completion once you complete all the assignments. I will leave the link in the description box so you can check it out. Finally, I trim the dead tissue and buff the surrounding skin, so it will be all smooth and we will not need to worry about hangnails. Then it's time to choose the right size of the tip. I will be using the ones by Tipex. It's short, square, and they already have this built-in apex, so we will not need to use any builder gel or any other product on top. And it's also important to find the right size that is going to cover the nail from one side to the other. If you pick the one that's smaller, you're going to be in trouble. If you can't find the right one, let's say this one's too small, this one's too big, take the big one and slightly file the sidewalls. This client has a slight curve which perfectly matches with this style of tips. By the way, if you're using soft gel tips, it's really nice to have different styles, because unfortunately there is no style that one size fits all. They come in the different styles, like there are flat tips, there are tips with a curve, and there are also tips with built-in apex, as well as just traditional tips. And I'm not talking about different styles in terms of different shape or length. Of course, it's up to you. You also need to have whichever you like, but also in terms of their style. Then I apply dehydrator, and normally I apply primer afterwards, but we are going to skip it. We can also skip the base coat on the other hand, since we have a little risk of allergic reactions here, but just in case, I'm using HEMA and TPO free base coat on the other hand, and then I'm using a gel glue to apply the tips. So we flash cure them for about 5 to 7 seconds first, and then we fully cure them in a full-size lamp. And this is how within a few minutes we have a perfectly shaped, almost ready to go square nails. And the only thing we need to file and shape here is to get rid of this plastic residue that we have on the free edge, and I'm going to use a nail file to do that. Now let's do some nail art that is going to look great in any season. And my obsession with cat eye gel polishes continues. Today we are going to use a blue silk cat eye. There are different kinds of cat eye gel polishes. So the ones that have smaller size of these magnetic particles are called silk cat eye because it does look like a satin or silk. So we apply one coat and then I magnetize it from both sides, and most silky cat eye gel polishes, they are slightly transparent. So it's up to you. You can whether apply 2 coats, or you can use some color for the background like nude or the matching color. Let's say light blue will perfectly work here, or you can just leave it a little glass looking. So we decided to do 2 coats. I think that is going to look much better. And on the other hand, we are going to use this beautiful beige, a little bit pinkish silk cat eye, and wow, they look so pretty. I kind of like them the way they are, but I would like to add a little accent that will make them even more festive and pretty. We are going to use light reflective glitter gel polish and do this outline or a frame around the nail. So I'm going to do a line along the sidewall, along the other sidewall, on the free edge, and near the cuticle. But to make it even more fun and catchy, instead of doing just a straight line on the free edge, I'm going to do a little curve, imitating a French style of the nails, or simply doing the mirror-like curve from the cuticle area. Either way, I think it looks very pretty. If you're worried of doing a frame like this, you're like, oh no, Anastasia, I cannot do straight lines like this. Don't worry. With glitter gels, it's much easier compared to, let's say, black or white. So trust me, it's much easier than you think. And even if you mess it up a little, even if the line is not perfect in one side, nobody will tell because this is glitter. It makes everything prettier and sparklier. Finally, we seal it with a glossy top coat because this is the only way how it's going to shine. And this is the gorgeous nail art that we have, which looks amazing in the daylight. But once we turn the lights off and bring in a little bit more flash or subtle light, it looks even better. Look at this. Let me know in the comments which version do you prefer, the blue one or the beige one. And if you would like to see the next part of the story, what actually happened and did this client come back, do not forget to subscribe so you will not miss this new video.